Cedar Point in the year 2024 was a wild one for sure. No, not Wild One at Six Flags America, the roller coaster. I'm talking about wild, the word. Here, let's search it up together. The definition of wild. Let's see what we got here. Someone goes wild? Uncontrolled or extreme. Yeah, I think we can put Cedar Point into that category. I would say that Cedar Point was very extreme this year. Let's check the Cedar Point script to see if it's correct. Let's see here. 2024. At the end of the 2024 season, Cedar Point will close up to 7 different attractions, maybe even possibly 8? What? That is right, Cedar Point actually closed 7 different attractions this year that you can no longer experience because they're gone. And that's not even including Top Thrill 2, which more or less could be closed forever. We don't know for sure yet. But basically, 7 attractions closed, gone forever. Why? What happened? We'll talk about it in this video. This is the crazy 2024 Cedar Point agenda. Sorry, that was probably too extreme of an intro for a video such as this. Video editing's fun sometimes. Early in the year, this year, Cedar Point announced that one of their attractions would be closing before the 2024 season even started. Say hello to Snake River Expedition. Only opening a few years prior back in 2021, Snake River Expedition was a boat-style ride that took you around the river that circled the inside of Cedar Point. Think of the ride Jungle Cruise at any Disney park, but take out about $20 million in budget and place it at Cedar Point. But no, all jokes aside, this ride is actually pretty cool. Snake River Expedition pays homage to an attraction opening in the 60s called Paddle Wheel Excursions. At least I think that's what it's called. It's had a couple different name changes throughout the years, but we're just gonna go with that one. Paddle Wheel Excursions was basically Cedar Point's Jungle Cruise. The boat would travel to different scenes and tell jokes based on what was happening in that scene. The ride and the boats itself were very iconic. It made Cedar Point, you know, Cedar Point. Eventually, it got modernized. I don't really know too much about this attraction at Cedar Point. All I know is that the boats used to look like this, and then they became this. Which, after looking at the new boats for Paddle Wheel Excursion, you can definitely see that these are the same boats as Snake River Expedition. So, this ride closed. It's gone. Yes, that one's gone forever now. But now we got this one, Snake River Expedition. For the story of Snake River Expedition, I kind of have to remember for this one because throughout its 3-year life, it had 2 different stories. So we had the one in the beginning with the gold. You were smuggling gold and trying to get it to like this guy named Trapper Dan or something like that. And you had dynamite as well. And then these people boarded your boat and they were like, hey, give me your gold. But we accidentally gave them the dynamite and then it blew up this freaking porta potty. And then in the 3rd and final year of the ride's lifespan, it had a different story where you were a real estate company looking at pieces of real estate. So basically you boarded this boat and they were trying to make you buy these pieces of property, but each piece of property had something different going on that wasn't very appetizing for a person to buy that. Maybe the tree fell down on this house or there was a snake in this one. I don't know. Eventually, the ride closed. Because at the beginning of this year, Cedar Point announced that Snake River Expedition would not be returning for this season, or actually ever. And ladies and gentlemen, I think the answer is quite clear why the ride had to go. It was just too costly to operate. And I believe when you take a look at why this attraction was just too much money to operate, I believe it's because it just required too many employees to operate this one singular attraction at Cedar Point. Especially in the beginning years with the original version of the show, you had people assigning guests to rows. You had people running the pre-shows, you had people driving the boats, you had the live actors on the sets out there for the attraction. It was just too many employees to pay just for one attraction. And also another thing not really going for this ride is that this attraction had really horrible capacity, but don't tell anyone. But long story short, I believe it's just too many people to hire to operate just one singular attraction, and also the ridership taking forever. Yeah, it just didn't really add up, and that's why I think that ride bit the bullet. Wow, I took way longer than I wanted to on that one singular attraction, so we're just gonna go rapid fire. I'm gonna try to spend like a minute and a half on each additional attraction I talk about now, starting now with this attraction. And you're probably not asking, Jackson, what attraction are you talking about? What attraction did another one did they close, you know? And for this one, they didn't actually really announce that this one was closing. At least I don't think so. I didn't see anything about it. But the one I'm talking about is the slide structure at Cedar Point Shores. Yes, that's what it's called. Yes, so this one right here. Now, I'm pretty sure Cedar Point didn't acknowledge the fact that this was closing, but at the beginning of this year, this ride, this whole structure just came down. Even before the park opened for the season, Cedar Point was chipping away at this old slide structure standing in the back of the water park. This slide structure had 3 different slides on it. It had this big blue one and this yellow and pink one as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, these water slides right here were just your ordinary run-of-the-mill tube water slides that you can find at any water park. This big blue one right here just sent you straight down to the bottom of the catch pool, and this yellow and pink one just went down their little layouts. There was nothing really too special about these water attractions. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me redirect your attention to Nighthawk at Carowinds, Anaconda at King's Dominion, Green Lantern and King Ka at Six Flags Great Adventure. Remember how those had no closing announcements? I believe that started with this slide structure at Cedar Point Shores. There was no announcement for this ride closure, these slides closures. I believe it all started right here at Cedar Point. I actually have no idea. I just came up with that. It was a theory of mine. Maybe, maybe not. I'm not sure. Let's move on. But why, Cedar Point? Why would you be getting rid of your water slides? Why would you want these gone from your parks? And ladies and gentlemen, I believe it's a very simple answer on why these attractions are leaving. Out with the old and in with the new. These 3 slides are over 30 years old. They've been here since the late 80s, since this water park opened up at Cedar Point. So in conclusion, I believe that this attraction just reached the end of its service life. Nothing ever lasts forever, although I do believe that sometime in the next 5 years, we will see a replacement here with Cedar Point Shores with some sort of water attraction to replace it. Maybe a water coaster, who knows, but I think we will see something there eventually.
After much preparation, Theodore Colasbury was the first human over Snake River Falls, the world's highest, fastest, wettest water ride. Are you ready? Get to the point, Cedar Point!
Snake River Falls, sitting in the back of Cedar Point in Frontier Town, was a definite eye-catcher for many. Opening in 1993, Snake River Falls was the tallest, fastest, and steepest flume ride in the entire world. At the time, Snake River Falls was the 4th water attraction at Cedar Point, followed by Whitewater Landing, Thunder Canyon, and that random log flume up the front where Raptor stands today. What was the name of that log flume near Raptor? Log flume at Cedar Point. Name. Aha, Mill Race. Yes, this was the name of that random log flume near Raptor. Anyways, back to Snake River Falls. You know, when it opened, it was very popular, especially on those hot summer days where the sun was out. And although I wasn't there for it because I wasn't alive, I'm just going off what the internet tells me, and it says it was very popular. So you know back then when you would put something on your Christmas list and then you would really want it and you just be thinking about it for months and you just want this toy so badly, and then Christmas Day finally rolls around and then you get your toy and then you play with it for 2 weeks and then you don't ever touch it again? Yeah, that's kind of what happened to Snake River Falls, but over a 31-year history. Yeah, a couple things happened here. Number 1, people stopped riding this. Let me ask you a question here. When was the last time you have rode Snake River Falls at Cedar Point? I'm sorry. I didn't hear you. Oh, you haven't. No, you actually haven't ever. Oh. You've proven my point. Just this year, I got my first ever ride on Snake River Falls because it was closing, and I'm glad I did it, but unfortunately, I got soaked. Number 2 here, the ride isn't actually open for the entirety of the operating season. When Cedar Point opens on opening day, Snake River Falls will not open with it. And when Cedar Point closes for the last day of operation, Snake River Falls will have already been closed for a month and a half. Unfortunately, Cedar Point's operating schedule is already too short, and to have an attraction that doesn't open with the park and closes early, just, I don't know, that makes me feel sad. So Snake River Falls, basically a low ridership and high maintenance cost and downtime, just basically sent it to the dump. Actually, as I think about it now, one of the very few attractions out of the Six Flags Cedar Fair chain to actually get an announcement of a closure. Just thought about that. It wasn't too much of an announcement. It was like 3 weeks out, but at least it got something. For the last 2 entries on our list, I'm grouping them together as they're located right next to each other inside the park. Of course, I'm talking about Frontier Fling and Forbidden Frontier. 2 attractions that come 2025 will not be there. Forbidden Frontier was this walkthrough attraction where you kind of roam through this frontierish town. Not Frontier Town, but you could walk around the Forbidden Frontier, you can interact with characters, you can play games, there was different activities to do on the island, and it was overall a pretty cool experience. And I may say pretty cool experience, but I actually never experienced this, I'm just going off what other people said. But no, Forbidden Frontier was actually a pretty cool idea and concept, and it looked pretty fun. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. I believe it's a mixed match of what happened between Snake River Falls and Snake River Expedition. There was just too many people to employ to keep this attraction operating, and it just wasn't open for the entirety of the Cedar Point season, causing Forbidden Frontier to get unfortunately removed. Now let's change our direction to Frontier Fling, the sky coaster at Cedar Point. Now if you've been to any amusement park in your entire life, you've probably seen this structure before. This here is a sky coaster. It's the amusement ride that gets you strapped up into the sky and makes you fling, hence Frontier Fling. Now if you've ever done or seen one of these attractions before, you would know that they do cost some money to do. They're not included in your park ticket, and most of the time they're not included in your season pass, so I've never really done this attraction before, but I would like to do it one day for sure. However, I will not be doing it at Cedar Point because it's no longer there. And ladies and gentlemen, the reason why Frontier Fling is no longer at Cedar Point, why it's getting removed, dismantled, is because it's time for a new roller coaster. Now next year we are getting Siren's Curse, the all-new 2025 tilt coaster, and basically Top Thrill 2 again. But come sometime in the future, in 2020 something, this will be the plotted land used for the next roller coaster edition. Right here is Snake River Falls, which is an attraction we just covered and will be gone by next year. Directly behind Snake River Falls is Frontier Fling, which is the attraction we're covering right now. With both of these attractions gone, it will create a huge plotted land for a new edition sometime in the future. And to the left of Frontier Fling is Forbidden Frontier, which again is gone now. And with these three attractions gone, it creates a massive plotted land for a new edition sometime in the future. What attraction might be taking its place? I'm not sure. That's a little bit above my pay grade. But what I do know is that we completed 7 attractions that will be closing at Cedar Point this year. Not even including Top Thrill 2. That could make it 8, which is a little iffy. It might not last that long. But anyways, that's the end of this video. I'm going to Kings Island tomorrow, so I'm going to end it here. Thank you so much for watching, and have a wonderful rest of your day or night or afternoon or good evening or whatnot. Have a great day.